No, a tiger's not the king of the jungle. We get that. Much respect to the lion. Not mad at the lion, nothing wrong with the lion. But a tiger does operate with a different philosophy that I want you guys to adopt. One shot, one kill. One shot, one kill. See, a lot, every time I say shot, somebody starts. So, we are back. It's a great day to change lives, man. Brian and Beane with the Instincts Podcast, another episode. I am in pre-launch mode, so that's why nobody's sitting here. By the time we launch, I promise you, you guys will know. And we're actually launching because I'm going to give you guys some powerful information from our different segments. And I want you guys, oh wait, before I forget, go ahead and text right now. Text keyword instincts to 844-696-0845. 844-696-0845 for updates, snippets, sneak previews, errors and omissions, behind the scenes, and of course, when we actually launch. I already know who my first guest is going to be. An incredible, incredible, incredible story. Why is that important? Well, what we do on the Instincts Podcast is we teach you or introduce you to people who've turned their tribulations into celebrations. My belief is that we've all been through something. You have a story that's extremely valuable, but I can help you turn that story into a message. And my motto is that your story belongs to you, but your message belongs to the world. And when you see the different individuals sit in this chair and you see what they've actually overcome, and you hear how they actually overcame it, it's gonna blow you guys away. So some people you won't know at all. Some people will be individuals that you're familiar with, whether it be influencers or celebrities. I got a couple of contacts. And some of you guys will be sitting right here as a viewer one day and as a interviewee the next. So it's gonna be very, very powerful. So let's go ahead and get right into the segments. If we've never met before, my name is, you'd be surprised what you hear when you're outside. My name is Brian and Beane, and this is the Instincts Podcast. And our first segment, man, it's been one getting rave reviews on the pre-launch. Nothing but money. Why is this an important topic? Well, you're listening to a guy who lost his first $1 million in his 20s. Thank God. FEAR stands for fail early and responsibly, right? I had no fears whatsoever. That's why I made a ton of money, but I got a little nervous when the IRS showed up at my door and said they wanted all of my back taxes, which I had not filed at that time. So what's my point? I believe in this nothing but money section because I want to show people how not to make the same mistakes I made. And I want to bring plenty of people here who have a ton of money, who can crush you with their wallets to show you the things that wealthy people do. When I failed early and responsibly in my 20s, thank God I was young. I was able to recover in my 30s. And now guess what? I travel the country and travel the world showing you how not to make those same mistakes. I'm just telling y'all right now, I don't care what anybody says. Taxes is something you'll always hear at the root of the solutions I'm going to bring you guys as to why a lot of people have a negative cash flow cycle. Here's what you have to understand. There are only two cash flow cycles, positive and negative. And in this country, a lack of money will always cost you money. And an abundance of money will always save you money. And if you knew that the reason most Americans lack money is because of the government, then you would stop giving the government so much of your money. And I'm not here today to give you guys like a CPA perspective or an accountant perspective, because I'm not that. I'm a financial educator. But here's what I will tell you. If taxes are your largest expense, why aren't you legally, ethically, and morally looking for ways to decrease them? When you hear wealthy people argue about taxes, I don't care if you're Democratic or Republican or independent or whatever, they're talking about capital gains taxes 9 times out of 10. They're talking about how much money is going to get taxed. Let me just give you guys this real quick, since this is the Nothing But Money segment. Oh, by the way, our proud sponsor is the Extra Digit Movement, where we show you guys how to increase your net worth 1 digit at a time. Extra Digit sponsors this segment. And let me tell you guys why this conversation is important. Money is not taxed like labor. Let me say this again. Money's not taxed like labor. So if you know that politicians and wealthy people are arguing about capital gains taxes, that tells you that most of them who run for president, for example, typically have money. Not all, but most of them. So that must mean that if money is taxed the least, that rule was put in place for the wealthy because wealthy people have already figured out that their money is making money and it shouldn't have to pay the same amount of taxes as a person making money using labor. So why don't you find a way to make most of your money with money so you can give the government less money and keep your cash flow positive? This goes all the way back, and a lot of people miss this. This goes all the way back to Britain. And this is not a history lesson, but I'm just going to give you some historical context. In Britain, many years ago, you had a caste system. You were either a lord or you were a servant. That basically means you either had land or you worked for somebody who did. Now, if you know anything about your history, America broke away. Why? Because of a tax argument. Came over here to the United States. At the time, the world was undiscovered, even though it had occupants on it, but that's another training for another day. They come over here because they're mad at the big bad British Army the argument was over what? Taxes. We dumped some tea into the Boston Harbor. What was that conversation over? It was taxes. Then America ended up using the same principles that Britain used in their caste system and brought it to capitalism. So here, either you have a job or you work for someone who provides them. In Britain, either you had land or you work for somebody who did. So in this country, it's not called a caste system, it's called capitalism, and the rules work the same. If you are a business owner, you don't pay taxes the same way that a person who works for the business owner does. So employees pay the highest tax rate. Business owners pay a lower tax rate, or they actually they can lower their tax rate by paying their taxes last. And money pays the least amount of taxes. It's called capital gains. So on the Instincts podcast and during the Nothing But Money segment, I'm often going to bring you guys tips and honestly free game and what we call hacks into how to keep more money in your pocket. And the number one thing you can do that most people don't realize is start a home-based business. And the second thing you can do is take the money from your home-based business and invest it so your investments pay the least amount of taxes and more of that money stays in your pocket. I don't know if y'all heard that, but somebody's shooting and I'm just making sure that the guns aren't pointed this way. You know what I mean? When you start talking about money, boy, people start acting funny. Maybe that's why they money funny. All right, so this next segment, the instincts. We want to tap into your instincts. So we're going to actually have segments where I bring my gift from God, which is making complex things simple. And I've been studying animals for many years, and I show you how to adopt certain principles that they use to survive in their habitat and how God made us the highest form of intelligence on the planet. And we need to use those same exact principles to tap into our habitat. So tap into your instincts, guys. What exactly does that mean? It's not that difficult. A tiger, for example, I'll just give you this one segment. A tiger lives by a certain philosophy. People say, Brian, you're always talking about the tiger. In your training series, you always talk about the tigers. In your on stage, you always talk about the tigers. Well, here's why. No, a tiger is not the king of the jungle. We get that. Much respect to the lion. Not mad at the lion, nothing wrong with the lion. But a tiger does operate with a different philosophy that I want you guys to adopt. One shot, one kill. One shot, one kill. See, every time I say shot, somebody starts shooting. Every time I say a shot, somebody starts shooting. Okay. As long as they're going that way, I don't have a problem with that. It's okay. All right. So A lion has a bunch of lions. Now, not all the time, but typically, you know what lions do. You've seen the documentaries. They run around, let's say, chase a bunch of gazelles, and they'll scatter the buffalo or scatter the gazelles, and they'll go after the one that's the weakest, and they'll separate him from the pack, and a whole bunch of lions will split that one meal of the poor gazelle. A tiger has a different philosophy. I'm coming out this tree one time, and when I come out, I'm not going back up. I'm not saying they live in trees. I'm just giving you an example. I'm not going back up until I eat. And the philosophy or your habitat, or I'm sorry, your instinct that I want you to tap into, real simple. One shot, one kill. Why do people act like you have the rest of your life to get your goals and dreams accomplished? You don't. Why do people act like the decisions they make every single day have not landed them exactly where they are today? Because it's a fact. Why do people act like the decisions they make today won't affect where they are tomorrow? Because it will. If you know that God made you the highest form of intelligence on the planet, and you know that you only got one life to live, my question to everybody in this particular segment is, why aren't you living it? So too many people wait on their stars to line up. One young lady even told me one time, well, Brian, you know, when I'm just still waiting on my ship to come in. I'm like, well, if you haven't sent a ship out, then nothing's coming back. Why do so many people wait on the perfect time or what they perceive as the right opportunity to start traveling? Just go somewhere. Why do people wait on the right time in their life to start a business? Get started. Why do people wait until the kids are out of school? Then I'm going to be successful. Then I can get focused. When I get this divorce, then I'm going to start so-and-so. When I lose weight, at that point, I can begin this and that. Once I start traveling more, then I'll learn how to make money. No. There are two ways to get what you want out of life. Two ways. Something comes in your life or something comes out of you. And I'm just trying to figure out why most people wait on something to come in their life when you already have something in you that needs to come out so you can start living this one life that the man upstairs gave you. There are a lot of different qualities and characteristics on these different animals that I teach. But in this particular segment, I just wanted to take the time to focus today on the one shot, one kill philosophy. Because a lot of you guys watching this video, you really act like you got the rest of your life to start living your goals and dreams. I've known for probably 2 or 3 years that I should have launched a podcast. I've known that. But after being inspired to do so, after, of course, purchasing the P.A.Y.S. and launching and creating something unique and different called a podcast, I said, you know what? I'm going to set the camera up. I don't have my guests yet, but I'm going to go ahead and start talking. Why am I holding back all the game that I have, all the experiences I have, all the lessons I've learned when people can start learning these things today? So my instinct, if you will, or the instinct that I want you guys to understand or tap into is you only got one life to live, and it's time for you to start living it, if nothing else. Last but not least, I got something pretty cool for you guys. Earlier, I said I was going to call the segment where I bring my son and we talk about things that plague teenagers or different things that they go through. I mean, let's face it, man, that's a new world. It's a new world we're living in right now. Social media, the pressures, cyberbullying, cryptocurrency, college, not going to college, entrepreneurship, NFTs, making money online, making money offline, and all the normal pressures of drugs and sex and gangs and everything else that plagued us when we were teenagers. Why not talk to a teenager, get their feelings and perspectives on what's going on in their world, and have some of your children watch that section and actually weigh in as well? Why not? All right. So I said I was going to call it Big Beane, Little Beane, but I got a better idea. The wind blowing, and I don't want to get the cars in my lane. I got a better idea. Why don't we call it copy and paste? How cool would that be Yeah, if y'all don't follow that, don't worry about it. We might name it copy, paste, and send. I mean, I'm copy, he's paste, and we're gonna send y'all a message that you should maybe share with your children, or maybe we can get other people involved as well. I got some pretty cool fathers and pretty cool mothers that can come and bring their issues and bring their cool children to weigh in on that section. So look forward to seeing Makai sitting right here pretty soon in our new copy and paste segment. Producer, I got something for you. You ready?
Yes.
There's a section I do called freestyle.
Okay.
All right, that's what it's called for now, right? You know, rappers go off the top of the head and, you know, battle or whatever. So I said I was gonna show people how the frameworks that I have in my Monetize Your Message program would teach you how to take basically any subject. I'm not saying you have to do this. I'm just gonna show you how the frameworks work. You can give me any subject, any word, and I'll do a quick keynote address on that particular subject. So without you even knowing that,
Okay.
give me a word, it doesn't matter what it is, and I'm gonna show the world before we go how to take that message and monetize it. Why these drift away.
Okay. Right. All right. Fence.
Fence? The word is fence. Well, here's the thing. Whether you use a gate, whether you use a brick wall, whether you use a piece of rope, whether you use a string, whether you use a fence, there's always something keeping you from your goals and dreams. The problem with most people is that they don't realize that every barrier, every boundary, whether it's a piece of string, a piece of rope, a metal fence, iron rod, or the Great Wall of China, it's all mental. I want you guys to write this down. Obstacles only exist in physical form. Everything else is a state of mind. Again, obstacles only exist in physical form. Everything else is a state of mind. Why is it that so many of you guys have a decision to make, you know you need to make it, but you erect your own fence in front of your goal and dream? Why is it that so many of you guys have a decision to make, you know you need to make it, but you erect a wall when really your problem is just a fence? Why is it that some of you guys don't realize that no matter how big or small, how small the rope is, you're making it a fence? In other words, some of you guys have small challenges that you can knock out and hit your goals and dreams just like that. And some of you guys have no challenges at all, but you're making and erecting your own fence mentally. See, a lot of you guys think a fence is, in this particular conversation, physical. Believe it or not, the fence 9 times out of 10 is keeping you from doing what you need to do is mental. So my advice to you guys is simple. Stop making something that can be cut with some scissors like a piece of string, a fence, and stop making a fence the great wall that's keeping you from being the person that you need to become in order to make the wildest goals and dreams you could ever imagine happen. Stop erecting your own fences and get out there and become the person that God intended for you to be. And with that, that's my freestyle on the word fence. I'll show you guys how to take pretty much any topic, man, and at least put a spin on it, put some positivity on it, or create a keynote around it. And I promise you guys, man, you'll be on stages all across the world. It's nothing better if you want to be a speaker or a trainer. It's nothing better than having people watch, live out their experiences through you, and then you being able to take your experiences and get them back to the world. Remember, your story belongs to you, but your message belongs to the world. I'll see you guys on the next podcast. And as usual, I got cleaning up to do.